Yo, welcome back to Good Game Reviews. Here to do another game review, man. We have not done a game review in a while, man. I'm glad that the season's back. I checked out the KC Houston game on Thursday. Um, my friend was saying he enjoyed the game. I don't understand how. I don't understand how he liked the game. I mean, he's not a fan of either team. It was just a really bad game to me. It just started off bad. I mean, Houston. But anyway, we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about the Pats and their matchup. And we're going into week one at home with the Miami Dolphins. The same team that kind of spoiled our playoff runs a little bit early with the upset in week 17. And we're pretty much going into a new season. Due to the coronavirus, we didn't get a chance to go through the regular steps of the off season. No OTAs, no mini camps, limited time in training camps, no preseason. So we didn't go through the steps in terms of getting a chance to see what everything was on all of the teams. Really, we didn't get a chance to see what everybody was pretty much capable of, who would get a chance to actually start. I think a lot of players got cheated out of a chance of actually getting starting roles because there was no preseason, so people didn't get to really display what they had. But besides all that, we got the 53 man rosters pretty much, or 55, however you want to see it. Um, I still don't understand that. I mean, I guess it's tied with the COVID-19 and all that, but yeah. Um, anyway, let's go ahead and get into comparisons because every time I do these predictions, I like to compare the different sides of the ball, pretty much QB versus QB, running back versus running back, so on and so forth, all the way down to the special teams, all the way down to the coaching staff. I like to go through it all. So if this is your first time seeing me, this is usually how I do the game predictions. And whoever has the most advantages at the end is pretty much going to be the victor in my eyes. Now, disclaimer: this isn't a 100% fail-proof thing. Don't use this to set up any bets, y'all. I encourage y'all, don't use this to, oh, he says this is gonna happen. 500 on no. Don't do that. It's just for fun. This is just my opinion. At the end of the day, so yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. I'm just another guy with a camera and some thoughts in his head. So yeah, let's go ahead and run down. We're gonna start with the QBs. We have Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Cam Newton. Been living under a rock. I feel bad for you, but Cam Newton is a New England Patriot. I was pretty much surprised, when I got the news as well. But this is the situation. I mean, 2020. So we have Ryan Fitzpatrick versus Cam Newton in this matchup, and I had decided to go ahead and give the advantage over to the Patriots as far as the QB position. Now, usually I like to do things where I would choose the players or player based on their recent body of work. If we looked at Cam Newton's recent body of work, we had to go all the way back to 2018 to get any true testament of what he's able to do. If we went that way, if we were going by latest body of work, but I just decided that wouldn't truly be fair if we factored injuries from previous seasons, because we got to be honest about this. I mean, honestly, if we looked at the numbers for the running backs and looked at Jordan Howard versus Sony Michel, you wouldn't say that Sony Michel is a better running back than Jordan Howard, would you? So we gotta be honest about it. We gotta be honest about it. So I decided to go Cam Newton over Ryan Fitzpatrick, simply because of the skill set that Cam Newton provides to the team. The versatility that he can bring to the game, it just outweighs what Ryan Fitzpatrick can do overall on the field. So already won for the Patriots. As far as running back go, now this is going to probably be a surprise, especially since you just heard me make the Jordan Howard, Sony Michel comparison. But I decided to go with the Patriots on this one, simply because of depth. Now the Patriots, they don't have like a bell cow. They don't have a bell cow where they can just say this is the guy who is pretty much going to be toting the rock. All of y'all just fall behind and follow his lead. Now Miami has something like that with Jordan Howard, and who knows? Maybe it'll be a mixture of Jordan Howard and Matt Breida. We don't know, but I decided to go ahead and give it to the Patriots, specifically based on depth. Sony Michel, James White, Rex Burkhead. If you want to factor J.J. Taylor, even though he's a rookie and we haven't really seen anything, and it's possible that he doesn't get in, any of the games. He's probably going to get redshirted for the entire season. But I mean, if you want to go with that, then cool. But I'm just going based off of those first three guys: Sony, James, and Rex. I just feel that the depth is a little stronger at that spot than what Miami has. Even though they have Jordan Howard and they have Matt Breida, behind that, it's a little shaky. So we're going to go ahead and move on with the wide receiver position. And I decided to give this position to the Miami Dolphins. Specifically because other than Julian Edelman, we can't really put our faith in anything else what the Patriots have. N'Keal Harry, the verdict is still out on N'Keal Harry. It's too early to call him a bust, and I don't want people jumping and saying, "Oh, he didn't have a good season because of this and this and this and that, and he's really a stud and he's a good guy." All of that stuff. We can't do that. We can't go on either side of that argument. There's not enough. The verdict is still out on him, so we got to see what he does this season. He has to prove it this season. If at the end of the season, he's not looking so good, and he went through the whole season healthy, then we can call him a bust. If he has a really great season, then hey, cool, we can at least remove that bust title away from him, and we'll start expecting even more of him with the next season to come. But right now, the verdict is out on him, so we just got to see what N'Keal Harry does. As far as everybody else behind him, as far as everybody else behind N'Keal, Damiere Byrd cast off from the Cardinals. Before that, cast off from the Panthers. Wasn't even the number 3 guy on either of those teams. So the fact that he's number 3 for us now, it only shows the concern that the Patriots fans should have for this wide receiver room. If they want to make any kind of jump in terms of competition with that room, they either got to make a signing, or somebody in there is going to have to find a way to step up and just prove everybody else wrong. But for right now, it is looking like easily top 3, one of the weakest wide receiver rooms in the National Football League. I'm just going to be honest. It's just not an impressive room. Besides Julian Edelman, it's not an impressive room. You have to go with Miami. You got to go with Devontae Parker, Preston Williams. You got to go with those guys. Those 2 guys are better than whatever we have right now. So it is what it is. As far as the tight end room, I didn't want to do it this way, but I decided to go ahead and give it to the Miami Dolphins, only because what did the Patriots really have last year? What did they really have if you're looking at the depth chart this year? You have Ryan Izzo, and then you have the rookies behind him. Now, don't get me wrong. I really do like Devin Asiasi, and I really do like Dalton King, and I hope the world for them in terms of their success in the league. I really want them to be successful this season. But based on what we have at the moment, we gotta understand that these are rookies. We have nothing to tag behind their names right now. All we have is projections. So we got to go with what we actually do have, and what we do have is Ryan Izzo's numbers, and those are very, not impressive. Not impressive at all. The dude has 6 receptions overall from last year. Just 6 receptions. That's it. So not impressive. Not an impressive tight end room, at least at this moment, is how we're just looking at it right now, based on the numbers. So I went ahead and gave it to Miami. Offensive line, I'm gonna go ahead and give that one to the Patriots. I believe any offensive line with Eric Flowers in it is doomed to fail. If he's not a tackle now. He's not a tackle anymore. He's a guard now. He's a left guard now. So I guess we got to take that in mind. But it's still Eric Flowers. He has to prove me wrong. Until then, the fact that he's a starter is concerning to me. So I'm going to go ahead and give the offensive line to New England. Defensive end, I went ahead and gave that one to the Patriots. I went through at least the statistics based on last year and based on the guys that they're going to have starting based on each of the depth charts. I went ahead and went with New England. Looking at production, the defensive end surprisingly have a little bit more production than what Miami has. Now, that's not to say what it will actually look like coming into this season, but for right now, the production on the Patriots end, in terms of sacks, in terms of tackles, solos, if you're looking at the individuals, it's just better on the New England side of the football. Same thing goes for defensive tackles. Just more production. It's more stuff to look at in terms of just overall production, sacks, forced fumbles, interceptions, whatever you want to look at. It's just better on the Patriots side of the football. Now linebackers, I decided to go ahead and give that one to the Dolphins. Now look, Dolphins. Let's be honest. They gutted us. They gutted us for some players. They got Kyle Van Noy. They got Landon Roberts. But they also still got some guys over there that have a little more production. On the Patriots side, you have 3 rookies who are sitting on the 53-man roster right now. You have 3 rookies, and then you have a second-year guy in Juwan Bentley, who is pretty much your best linebacker right now. So, I mean, it's strange to look at this linebacker room now, and then you look at last year's linebacker room, and you're like, how did we lose all these guys? But I mean, it is what it is. So I went ahead and gave the linebacker room to Miami. As far as the cornerback room, secondary was pretty much the easiest thing to choose in this matchup. There's not another secondary in the league that I think could really match up with the Patriots secondary, especially at cornerback, which is the most diverse position that they have. The most depth field position that the Patriots have on the team is the cornerback room. Leading the room is Stephon Gilmore, of course, last year's Defensive Player of the Year. First in pass defended with 20. Tied first with interceptions and 6. I mean, this dude was a complete baller and deserved every right of that Defensive Player of the Year. He was just phenomenal. And then you have, on top of that, you got guys like J.C. Jackson, Jason McCourty, Jonathan Jones. It's like the depth is crazy in that room. I mean, I know the Dolphins have Xavier Howard and they have Byron Jones, but I mean, it's just crazy. Just the overall depth and just the talent that's within that room is crazy. You'll be a fool to pick anybody else. As far as the safeties go, I decided to go with the Patriots. More production, more, I would say playmakers. In my eyes, Devin McCourty's still one of the best safeties out there, free safeties out there. So as far as that safety room goes, I will go ahead and take the Patriots safety room easily. Special teams, special teams is really it's really difficult because you gotta take a lot of different things into account. Um, the returners you got to take into account, kickers and punters, and how well do they do in terms of stopping returns and things like that. Um, I went ahead and gave that position to the Patriots. They just seem to have the better, special teams whenever it comes to these type of matchups. Um, they have at least like three guys who are Pro Bowlers uh, on in that special teams room. Two guys that you can just go ahead and name right off the bat: Matthew Stafford and Justin Bethel. Um, those two guys alone can make your special team squad very dangerous. I mean, those are two gunners that you just would love to have. It's crazy, like just the amount of talent that they have in that special teams room. Um, it's easy to go ahead and give it over to the Patriots. Um, as far as kickers, I was surprised. A lot of bad talk. And rightfully deserved as far as Nick Folk goes. Um, Nick Folk isn't a name that fills you with confidence when you're talking about kickers, because there's like he's pretty much became a meme over his career as being known as just one of the worst kickers to have on your team. And anytime somebody says who's our kicker, let's see, Nick Folk. Nick Folk. Did not know that. I mean, it's understandable. It's understandable when you look at something like that. I mean, like, even when I saw that the Patriots were planning to re-sign Nick Folk, I was like, is our kicker room that bad? Is it really that bad? Is Justin Washwaz, or however you want to say his name? I still can't get his name right. Is he just that bad? Apparently he's dealing with an injury. Right now he's sitting on the practice squad, so it's looking like the Patriots pretty much wasted a 5th round pick. Didn't even get the best kicker. Like, my pick was Blankenship. I really hope they would have went after Blankenship, but now he's about to be the starting kicker for the Colts. So you see, it's just the way the draft works. I mean, Bill Belichick, great coach and all, but in terms of drafting, any argument could be made. But we pretty much whiffed that kicker pick. So now we're back on the Nick Folk train, and surprisingly, he doesn't have any bad numbers from last year. He wasn't just atrocious. He wasn't even like mediocre. He was actually a fairly good kicker. Field goal percentage above 80. Above 80 in terms of field goal percentage. You can't really, if you want a good kicker, there you go. Perfect on extra points. 100%. Didn't miss a single extra point. So at least, after you score a touchdown, you're going to get that 1 point. You're gonna walk away with 7. So I mean, overall, if you're looking at the percentages, he did not really have a bad year last year when he came to the Patriots. So I mean, let's pay attention to that. Let's look at that. As far as the punting situation goes, I still believe Jake Bailey is one of the best punters that we have in the league. He down at least like 30. I want to say 38 balls inside the 20, and according to what we read from reports that they were given at Patriots training camp, it appears that Jake Bailey was downing balls consistently now in the 5. Sometimes just hitting like the 1, just boom, 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 just automatic. So it appears that he probably got better than he was last year, if that's even possible. So something to look at, something positive, especially if you want something to fall back on as a Patriots fan, and everything kind of looks kind of doom and gloom to you at this point. If you don't have faith in the offense, if you don't have faith in the defense, I mean, if there's one thing you can have faith in, it's definitely the special teams, unit. If you want to have some, if you want to have a little faith in something, man, if you want to have a little bit of faith, have faith in this special teams unit because, you know, this could be this special teams unit that we have could be the game changer in this. I know the line is 6.5 going into the Patriots' favor. The Patriots are favored by a touchdown. So, I mean, this could be it. This special teams unit could be the deciding factor in this game. So let's keep an eye on that. And last but not least, we have coaching. As you know, if you watch my videos from last year, I pretty much gave the coaching battle over to New England side. It's hard to argue this. I mean, all I have to say is Bill Belichick, and a lot of people will back off because they know there's no messing with this guy usually. If you want an example of how coaching can like really matter, look at the Thursday night game with Bill O'Brien and Andy Reid. Clearly, Andy Reid was the best coach on the field. Let's not even, let's forget about the players. Let's forget about all the playmakers that KC have. Let's just focus on just the coaching. Who was coming up with plays, with different like misdirection type of schemes and whatnot, and mixing in a evenly batch of running and passing. Who was going for it on fourth downs when they knew they could get the first down? Who was aggressive in their play calling? Who went for the big shots down the field when they needed to? They didn't just go all willy nilly. They did it when they absolutely needed to, and when they saw the perfect opportunity, they went for it. Like Andy Reid showed that he was the better coach. Bill O'Brien scared to go for it on fourth and short situations. Tried to do too much dink and dunk even late into the game, was shy to go down the field. Besides the two deep balls to Will Fuller, I mean, you could pretty much count the number of deep balls that they went for on your hand. I mean, even though they have three starters who are running sub 4.3s, come on now. Don't tell me that coaching doesn't matter. Coaching probably matters equally, if not more. So I mean, we have to consider coaching into this, and I have to go with the Patriots. Not saying that Brian Flores isn't a good coach. I would love to see him have some success this year, and kind of erase that stigma of the Patriots not having good guys come from under Bill Belichick and go out and be good head coaches. I would love for Brian Flores to change the narrative on that. But I think Bill Belichick still, outweighs him. It's master versus sensei at this point, and you always choose the master over this. I mean, not master over sensei, but like sensei over student. So you always choose sensei over student. I mean, it's just natural to choose that. But anyway, if you're listening, looking at this list, going back over it, I went ahead and gave the advantage to the Patriots. Even so, I still predict this to be kind of a close game. If I could give a score, I would say Patriots 27-21. I don't want to sound like a Cynthia here. But yeah, I'll go ahead and say 27-21. Stick with what we got from the betting lines. Patriots win this game by a touchdown. And they move into the next week 2, with a 1-0 record. So start off the season good. That's pretty much my prediction on that. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. More game predictions coming for more game reviews coming forth. Yeah, we're gonna be rolling again. Football is back. Football is finally back. It is officially back, and I can stop pretending to care about basketball because no, I shouldn't say that. But yeah. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm out.